I don't need no man. Alright guys, let's talk about this expression that a lot of women are now saying. It also has become a phrase that a lot of them are sharing. But I also would like to add in that, that even though that they don't need no man, that black fathers, black dads do matter. And you see, the reason why a lot of them are saying those expressions is because before 1965, the black father had a big role. A lot of that black men were married 85% at such a high rate. And also, there was a role for men to fulfill before all of these government programs and the police incarcerations and the divorce and justice system came in and took away the black men out of the family. There was a role for black men to fulfill. But now, after 1965, with these 3 interventions, the black man is no longer needed. On top of that, you had the 4th intervention of feminism. So now, women can do everything a man can do, and more or less are pretty much are the same. So now, why do we need the black man when the black woman has now become the most educated woman in America? If you go to the campuses, most of the people that attend the campuses, 60% of them are women. Especially when it comes down to the black woman, it's even higher for the black woman. There's a lot of stress now that if black women want to get far, they need to get an education. This is the great equalizer. So a lot of women have gone to education, got their good jobs, got their PhD, as Kevin Samuels would like to say, I'm a PhD. A lot of them now, they're economically independent. They do not need a man for nothing. So now we ask the question, what is the point of having the black men in the house? You see, even when now 15% of black people are getting married, 60% of those end up in divorces, and the government once again protects the women with child support, alimony. That's why there's so many incentives for the black man not to be there. That 80% of divorces are initiated by the woman. So why would the black man want to get on a plane that has a 20% chance of landing? You see, what's the point? That's why the marriage rates are so low, because it's so many incentives, so many programs that benefit the women and not the men. And also, we have a lot of these black male stereotypes, which are true nowadays, that also, when you look at these stereotypes, that a lot of black women don't want to deal with your trifling ass. You coming home with your multiple STDs, with all cheating, going with all these different women, raw dogging them, and bringing them home to your wife, your girlfriend. They don't want to deal with none of that nonsense. What's the point of having you over? So you can bring your multiple STDs. Also, the violence statistics, black on black crime, with the gun violence, and all of that abuse going on. Why would they want you to be in the house to bring all of that drama? With you cheating, and then all these side chicks coming over, want to start a fight. Derek Jackson. And then also, a lot of financial, physical, verbal abuse that these women are suffering from. They don't want no scrub. They don't want to deal with all of that nonsense and drama and abuse and fighting and possible death and STDs. This is why these, among other areas, are why they don't need no man. But as the women say they don't need no man, the children actually do need a man to be there as a role model of how a man should be. Because you see, there are consequences to when these 70 to 80% black women do not have men in the houses. There are consequences to their children. So the children do need a man. Black fathers, black dads matters. As you can see, when you deal with the son, it's very important when you have a son. Because when it comes to son, the father keeps them out of crime. This, as you can see in the statistics, there's a lower level of them getting into crime because they don't go to the gang family looking for a family, looking for male role models when they have their father, and their father will keep them out of those. And also, that extra source of income takes them out of poverty. So then, a lot of these children are not going to these gangs looking for a source of income. So when you have that man in the house, an extra source of income, extra pair of eyes, extra power, the discipline to keep them out of these unruly behaviors and check them at the door. Because when you don't have the black father there, a lot of these children, most of these children get into crime and join gangs. And you see, and it also goes for, it improves their education attainment. A lot of them, when they have a skill, a talent, like an after-school program, if they have good at sports, if you look at Zion Williamson, a lot of these children, when they go into sports, that takes them out of crime and poverty. And a lot of these stepfathers step in to take over, but they're not able to discipline the child, so it's not the best solution, but it's a solution. So when you take Zion Williamson as an example, Zion Williamson, reared by a single mother. The single mother did not have enough time to have a job and take Zion Williamson to all of the basketball practices, but here the stepfather comes in and takes him to all of the basketball practices, drives him to all of the meet and challenges, goes to all these different states, and now Zion Williamson is a great basketball player in the NBA. And it was because of his stepfather taking him to all those practices, to all the state meets and challenges, that he was able to develop his skills. But at the end, the stepfather was not rewarded in his thank you notion. See, Zion Williamson, when he became an NBA star and he got drafted to the NBA, and he got up there and he was thanking everybody, his coach, of course his mom and God, but he forgot to thank the most important person, which is the stepfather. That's why a lot of men don't want to step up to this role, because you don't get all of the benefits of being the father, but then you put twice as much effort. Now, when it comes to the daughter, it's important that they have fathers, because the fathers will keep out these these scrubs, those bad men. Because you see, the father is not going to let any guy just come in the house and try and get with his daughter. You see, there's this added layer of protection when you have the father. It's not going to let any man just in the house trying to get there. See, the father is going to protect the daughter from, other abusive men, rape, abuse. Also teach, the daughter to be more feminine, to keep her behavior. This is another thing that was the discipline that the father is teaching, how the men to be masculine and the females how to be feminine. But without this, then the roles are really blurred. And that's why there's a lot of this complaint about that there's no femininity. It's because the black father is not there. Also, the black father shared chores, responsibilities, babysitting. also better health, less stress, and decreases the dangers of life. And with this extra source of income brings them to the middle class family, which they're able to move into better areas. Because you see, if you get rid of the black father and take the government is only going to give you enough to stay poor. So when the single mothers had their exchanges for the black man for the government is only going to give you enough. Just enough to stay afloat. They're only going to give you the basic food, shelter, and pay the utilities. So he's just giving you enough to stay poor, but not enough for you to move up to a better area, middle class. You see, the government sets up this lower class and also sets up these restrictions on how much it gives you to keep you in the poor class area and not in the middle class area. If you want to get to the middle class area, you need a two sources of income, which is where the black man comes in. Let's see. So now, when you have both the mother and the father, it's more of a stable teaching. See, you keep the gangs out because they're not looking for other family members. You're able to teach them male and gender roles of how it should be. And also, you keep out, according to the statistics, the teenage pregnancy of 15% of these teenage pregnancy that's going on, and takes them down a path of poverty. So it is important that when they say, I don't need no man, yes, it's okay for that for the woman, but for the children, they do need a man. Anyways, guys, if you have any comments, leave them down below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. This is only for YouTube. And yes, women, you do need a man. Don't be listening to none of those music, those stereotypes, those videos. Bye-bye.